Okay, so here's a closer look at the 797. I actually do quite like the matte black colour. I do like them in red and yellow, so I do like the other colours, but this matte black actually looks quite nice. I particularly like the Monster 821 matte black one because it's got like the 821 and the silver stripes and stuff, and I think it's a really good looking bike. So if you've test ridden the 821 and decide to go for the 797, I'd strongly recommend you test ride the 797 before you buy, if you've only ridden the 821 like I have. It's just to play safe, because you might not like the 797. But yeah, looking at this close up, obviously this is a standard exhaust system on it. It doesn't sound too bad. It's not a bad sounding bike. Let's actually, while we're here, let's turn it on. First I'll give you a little rundown of the screen. So we've got a little TFT here. This bike's on 2,856. So you've got the miles per hour, average speed, and obviously you've got the computer, which I'm sure you can flick through different functions like fuel consumption, blah, blah, blah. Got a time, you've got your rev counter. So this is actually missing gear indicator, and it's also missing a fuel gauge, which are two things that my next bike is definitely going to have. Hopefully there's a bit of a reflection on the screen, but you get the gist of it. Handlebars, quite basic controls. You've got your hazard lights, your start, and then you've got your lights and flashing stuff and your indicators and your horn. But overall look at the bike, yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It's, you know, it is what it is. It's a sort of naked style, Street Fighter-y, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, again, going back to the Monster headlight, I'm not a massive fan of it, but it's again, it's that sort of retro style, but it looks good. You can actually buy a screen with this, which would make it look like, you know, looks a lot better that way. If you actually put like a fly screen on, I think it would sort of continue from the headlight up, and it would make it look a lot better. So needs a tail tidy, obviously, as all standard bikes out the shop do. But there she is. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the bike, and I'm now going to ride to the shop to go and pick up my Shiver because it is ready. We're going to take this courtesy bike back. I've actually forgotten to do the exhaust sound, which is what everybody loves, a little rev. So I'm going to turn her on. So using this GoPro, my microphone, hopefully I can get closer to it. Is it? Oh, make sure it's in neutral, yeah. So that's the exhaust. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad at all. It's not bad. I hate, just for the record, I hate revving. I can't stand it. I hate these bikers and cars, especially cars in, like, you know, when you get like the London scene, like and they just sit at traffic lights revving the shit out of their cars. I hate it. I can't stand it. It actually makes me cringe. Okay, so we're gonna get on, and I'll tell you how it feels to ride. Right, here we go. Let's get. Hang on, make sure I've got everything. Yeah. It goes well, it picks up quite nicely. It's another one of them bikes that, you know, we're doing 52 and it feels like I'm going like 80. So where this bike sits, okay, in the market is, in my opinion, it's around town, okay? So if you want a decent little bike to flit around town, to go out and do your errands on, go to work and that sort of thing, this bike is ticking that box big time. It's quite lightweight. It feels quite similar to the 821 in the sense of the weight and the handling, but the bike feels nice, you know. It's a nippy little bike. However, comparing it to the 821, it doesn't compare. Oh, I've gone in between gears there. See, it's chuckable. You can definitely get around the bends nice and easy. So the downsides for this bike is, in my opinion, compared to the 821, it feels cheaper. It definitely feels cheaper in the sense of the components. Things like this throttle, if you can see that, the throttle is really loose. I'm not too keen on that. That is one of my bugbears with motorbikes, especially Ducati, because my Panigale does exactly the same. The brake levers and that, I mean, they're all right. It just feels, all the components just feel a lot cheaper. Sort of like where you look at the screen. Now, obviously that's probably obvious because the bike is going to be cheaper anyway to buy. I think I've been spoilt by the 821. I'm not a massive fan on this. I don't find it particularly comfortable. It is smaller than the 821. I don't know the differences between the 821. Do they even actually make the 797 anymore? Has the 821 replaced it? Because this is a 2018 bike, so I don't actually know. I don't actually know enough about them to be able to comment, to be fair. This bike will fit perfectly if you're just shooting around town, if you've got a small commute, you want something to be like a little bit nippy, going around. I think actually, do you know what? This is a very good competitor to the Z650. An extremely good, this is a very good version of the Z650, because I personally didn't like the Z650. This is a very, very good competitor to that bike. So if you're looking for that sort of bike, the Z650 or them sort of the CB 500Rs or anything like that, go and test ride a 797. And if you're on your A2 license, is it? Yeah, A2 license, these can be de-restricted. Or sorry, rephrase, these can be restricted to A2 category. What I've just done now in the last sort of like 10 miles, it's absolutely been fine, and it has totally changed my opinion on the bike, and I'm quite pleased I've come this way, because I was about to roast it, and I've actually grown to like it just in these last few miles. So it does feel a little bit loose though. The actual bike does feel loose in the sense that, I don't know, it just feels a little bit clunky and a little bit, I've said that about the gears as well, I know, but I'm using that expression, clunky. But anyway, I'm really, really close to the bike shop now. This is Onyerbike at Westcott, so I'm really close to it now. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos, and until next time, I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Oh, and just to add, it's a nightmare to get into neutral, like actually a proper nightmare to get into neutral. Just thought I'd add that. Look, watch. Oh, had it then. No. Oh, come on. No. Just keep checking. No. There we go. See? That's how long it took to get into neutral. Anyway, I've already said goodbye. Goodbye.